Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another request for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or there's CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I can. It could be pretty much any type of video game playthrough, review, re-review, topic, commentary, whatever the case. And this is for the Polar Express from 2004, which it is the 20th anniversary. Came out in November of 2004. And I've seen this once before, and kind of how I felt back then. Saw it first time a few years ago. I feel it now. That I think it's okay. It's an okay film that is definitely more of a visual experience than a story, at least for me. It takes place Christmas Eve in the 1950s. And it's Robert Zemeckis who did Forrest Gump, Back to the Future, Castaway. This might have been the first... Was it the first all-digital movie? If not, definitely maybe one of the first. I do think it's the first, but anyway, I know Robert Zemeckis is a guy that really likes to try to go forward with technology. I know he did that film, was it Here? With Tom Hanks? Which I guess the idea is one shot, but showing the decades of life through this one shot in this one room. And it's like de-aging Tom Hanks and was it Robin Wright or... Anyway. But after this you see Robert Zemeckis do films like A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, Beowulf, which I was never gun-ho with that Robert Zemeckis. To me, Castaway, Forrest Gump, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We usually say that's pushing technology as well, but the whole CG thing, I prefer those ones I mentioned, not this era of Zemeckis. Wasn't my favorite era of his. Now again, I still think the film's okay, and I think that if you look at the environments, because the story is very simple. A kid who doesn't really believe in Santa, unsure of the existence of Santa. One day a damn train pops up right next to his house, which I'm thinking, okay, I believe. Because if right now a fucking train came by right here, right outside this place, I'm like, I'll believe whatever you want me to believe. There's no damn way a train's going to be right there, right in front of me, right here. I'm like, I believe. I believe in mermaids, I believe in aliens, I believe in, whatever Epstein did it himself, I'll believe whatever you want. I'll believe. But for some reason it takes, even though this happens, for some reason it takes this kid too damn long to believe. I'm like, are you not seeing? You're seeing hobos on top of trains disappear in the thin air. Literally in front of your eyes disappear. Like, you see a train going like a roller coaster across ice and stuff. You don't believe yet? If pigs flew, if seagulls flew out of your ass, would you still not believe? Why did it take you so fucking long to believe, kid? I'm an instant believer. Play the song, I'm a believer. But he gets on the Polar Express, and for the most part, it's a ride on the train. He meets a few people, meets a girl. There's a lonely kid who kind of isolates himself. And then there's Eddie Deezen, which, if you hear the voice, you know who I'm talking about. He was in 1941. He's one of the two people on the carousel. He had the dummy. He was the nerdy guy with glasses. He was also the nerdy guy with glasses in Critters 2, the main course. Worked it at the chicken place. I think he was in War Games. He popped up a lot. If you see a picture, you hear his voice, you know who Eddie Deezen is. They're going on the train, and then they eventually get to the North Pole. They're looking for presents. And the stupid thing fell. Damn cord. Sorry. And like I said, it's not a movie that has a deep... I mean, it has a nice message about belief, to be fair. in terms of like characters and other stuff, it doesn't have, like I said, it's more for the visual experience. I'm sure Zemeckis was hoping people to see this in the theater with, at the time, cutting edge technology. Now, granted, 20 years later, like I said, the environments in terms of the snowy landscapes, there's a bit where the train stops and there's terrible all around, and they able to part them in order to go forward. The way the North Pole looks, there's some nice visuals of that level. The way it shows speed with the camera, where you see the point of view of the Polar Express like a roller coaster, or when they get to the North Pole, the kids get in this tube, or they're in this slide and they're going through where the presents are going, the Christmas presents, their trajectory, showcase the speed. There's some nice stuff to look at. The humans, though, they look really... They don't hold up the look of the humans. Kind of, not quite nightmare fuel, but I would say if something doesn't hold up, it's that. The humans don't look that great. I don't know how to describe them, but it's like, that's one reason. That's one thing that, yeah. Now, Tom Hanks, who worked with Rob Zemeckis a lot before and after, he plays multiple roles. I mean, he plays the voice. He's the conductor. He's the voice of the kid growing up, because we hear some of his narration at the beginning and end of the movie. I think he voices the kid's father. I think he voices Santa. He voices his hobo that lives on top of the train. He voices a lot of characters in this. And I like Tom Hanks. Granted, the Tom Hanks I prefer is The Burbs, The Money Pit, that type of Tom Hanks. But Forrest Gump is great. Castaway is great. He does fine in the movie. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't think he did badly. I don't know if he needed to play all the roles or a lot of them, but yeah, it was fine for what it needed to be. They try to showcase some songs, like one about cocoa, hot chocolate. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Hot, hot, only one rule, don't let it cool. Which always reminds me of the damn McDonald's one back in the day with Jason Alexander. We had the DLT, where the styrofoam thing, where the hot stays hot and the cool stays cool. You can find that commercial online. I'm like, is it a reference to that or something? But yeah, I get to show the magical nature of the train. It definitely, visuals were first and foremost. And some stuff was still nice to see. There's a bit where the boy is trying to get the ticket that this girl lost, but he loses it. And we follow the ticket go across the air and the trail to these birds. First, like to a wolf and a pack of wolves, to this bird, and then flying around and gets to the nest, and then the baby bird putes it up, and then it crumples over here, and just to see this whole trajectory of it. It's weird to say nice camera work, but that was a nice visual aesthetic they gave to that scene. Michael Jeter, he's one of the people working the train. He doesn't. I think he passed away during this, so Michael Jeter, he was in a lot of stuff. He was in the Green Mile. He's the scrawny guy with the mouse in the Green Mile. He's been in a lot of stuff. I think this is one of his last roles. But you don't get to hear him a whole lot. So I don't know. Maybe he had more, but he passed away. I read up that I think some of his dialogue might have been redone or something to that. I don't know. But you don't get to hear him a whole lot, sadly. But I mean, I didn't think the film was boring. The showing the velocity, the fast motion of the train. It's just, again, with the characters, other than they're riding the train, it's just kind of not much. And then when they get to North Pole, it's just someone's going to get the first gift of Christmas. The kids separate our main three. They see these elves. They go in this tube. They follow a conveyor belt. They go down to these presents. They get into a big Santa bag. Some elves parachute down. They get the bag down. They get them out of there. They meet Santa. The kid can't hear the bell until finally he's able to hear the bell because he believes. Things go well. Gets back home. Thinks he lost the bell, but he does get the bell at Christmas. And tells about how throughout the years people didn't hear the bell, but he always heard the bell because the bell still rings. The bell still rings for me as well as all who truly believe. And that's the message of the movie. Believing. Believing's achieving, goddammit. So as is, I mean, it's nice to... It's a nice movie to put on for your kids for Christmas that don't need to pay attention a whole lot to story or plot because it doesn't have that. But again, with the visuals... It's interesting how the visuals, I'm sure, was meant to be cutting edge at the time, 20 years ago. But if you watch this could be cutscenes you would see in a PlayStation 3 game or PlayStation... I would say I would say PS3 game. Just... I don't say PS4, but really, I've seen PlayStation 3 games that look like this. And it just shows how a difference 20 years can be. And that's always the worry when you make a film like this that's more visual than anything, because I guess it's up to the individual whether it stands the test of time. Especially if you're like me and don't have a nostalgia feel for this. Because again, the first time I saw this was like a few years ago. Now, I don't mind it, but I don't see this as my repertoire of Christmas movies to pull out and watch again and again, because again, other than the visuals, the voices are fine of the kids. It's weird they got Eddie Deason. Tom Hanks playing multiple roles, it's fine. But it's not like, oh, that's my favorite Tom Hanks character. There's nothing, I mean, there's attempts at humor, but nothing that I'm like, oh, I thought that was hilarious. It's one of those movies that, like I said, Christmas time, you want the kids to watch something, like I said, doesn't require a whole lot of thought into the dialogue or the story or anything, but it's simple, it's sweet, doesn't overstay its welcome. I didn't feel it was too long or anything, and ends on a firm belief of belief. And for some reason, Steven Tyler is in this from Aerosmith, because he sings a song before we leave the North Pole. He sings a Christmas song. It was, what was the song? Rockin' on Top of the World was the song, and he's an elf. I'm like, it just seemed random to have Steven Tyler out of the blue for fucking Aerosmith. I'm like, where did that come from? Okay, there's Steven Tyler then. So it is what it is, but. With that said, like I said, if you're looking for a movie with more story, more characters, may not love it as much, but again, more for visuals. It depends how you feel about the visuals. Like I said, I think the environments and stuff look cool. The Polar Express itself looks cool. The humans look a bit funky looking, antiquated. But it's not really a film you hear people talk about. Not a bad film, but it's just not a film that you hear when people talk about Christmas movies. This isn't really brought up a whole lot. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Scrooged. I'm even Jingle All the Way, which I love. I like more than this. Even that gets brought up more, so kind of a film that's kind of, I wouldn't say lost to time, but yeah, I would think it would get more buzz because it's the 20th anniversary, but I didn't realize it until Bronson mentioned it. I'm like, yeah, it is the 20th anniversary. But I didn't read any write-ups for it or anything, so I guess maybe it's kind of one of those films that kind of forgotten in a way. But anyway, it's not a favorite of mine, but not bad either. So take that for you will. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.